Hi, everybody. Good morning, and welcome to Conversations with the Soul. Every morning, Monday through Friday, unless something weird happens, 8:15 Central Standard Time with me, Rita Hickman. I've got all sorts of amazing, fun titles. I'm a body-mind expert. I'm a shiatsu massage therapist. I'm an Asian medicine energy healer. Hi, Nicole. Nice to see you. Sorry, lost my train of thought. Sometimes that happens. I'm an Asian medicine energy healer, and I also, hi, Kathy, nice to see you too. I'm also a master intuitive healer. And so, yeah, my mind just went a little frazzled today. And part of the reason for that is I've had a lot of really exciting things going on in my life. Hi, Barbara, nice to see you. I've had a lot, and Rose here too, awesome. I've had a lot of exciting things going on in my life, a lot of programs and projects, which I've put into place. And the way that I've been able to do that is because I've spent the last 15 years, cleaning up all those blocks and things that get in the way. And one of the things that they don't talk about in personal growth and self-help sorts of things is the depression that comes from cleaning up your stuff. Hi, Annie Ann. How wonderful to see you. The lull and the low that comes from when you start relieving your triggers and you start getting rid of the things that make your system pop. If you're watching this, it's probably because you've gained a lot of wisdom in life, and you've gained wisdom through hard experiences that you had to sort your way out. And now you're on the flip side trying to deal with the consequences or complications of all the great coping skills that you've had or how strong that you've been. And so now most of us women, oh, good. I'm glad you can be sharing this time with me too, Barbara. And Beth is here too. So, on the flip side of making it to this place of being a survivor, now we have to deal with the side effects that happened from being so strong and being so capable. And one of the side effects that happen is that you end up triggering a lot more often. You get angry, anxious, frustrated, irritated, hurt, all that other stuff. But what people don't really talk about, hi Sherry, nice to see you. But what people don't really talk about is the depression that can also come with that. Some of my favorite Buddhist mentors, one of the things that they've had to deal with as well is that lull or that emptiness that comes with not having big releases of adrenaline anymore. So when I was a kid, I spent probably the first 25, 30 years of my life in a constant state of fight or flight. And so while my body was developing, and maybe you did too, while my body was developing and I was in that state of fight or flight, my nerves ended up being affected by that. And my body was shaped to being comfortable and familiar with high levels of adrenaline, with constantly being in that reactionary, protective, guarded sort of state. And like with any drug, your body starts to get used to it. It doesn't have as big of an effect. This is a weird little creepy side fact. Sorry I'm bringing it up at 8:15 in the morning, but maybe I'm not because I like to be melodramatic. Serial killers, many serial killers, like really crazy ones, what happened is when they were in the womb, they got an overdose from their mother of serotonin, of really great, and it might not be serotonin, but really big feel-good chemicals. Maybe it happened because she was on drugs, maybe it happened because something happened in her life, some sort of trauma, and then her body released all sorts of, opiates to handle it. But while the child was in the womb, they ended up flooded with happy chemicals, and their body adjusted to not being as sensitive to it. And the only way that they can feel good is to, participate in these mind-blowing, heinous crimes. Our bodies are shaped by our environment. They're shaped by the chemicals that we are exposed to. And if you were raised in fight or flight, you were exposed to high levels of adrenaline. And so you may even create high levels of adrenaline in your environment. You're tough enough to handle the guy that's crazy. You've got the skills to deal with the narcissist. You can power through any sort of struggle or difficulty, and probably if you look at your life, it's been kind of amazing. You look at other people's lives and you're like, wow, how did I survive this? I should feel like I'm run over by a truck, but yet I'm still successful. Hi Jennifer, nice to see you. I'm still successful. I'm still moving forward. I've still got my stuff together. I just have all of this craziness that I'm dealing with that I now have to cope with. Sometimes those releases, that constant fight or flight, does develop into things like rheumatoid arthritis. They develop into fibromyalgia. They develop into physical issues of your body attacking itself and of your nerves being warped to what's going on around them because your body was constantly reacting to that fight or flight. But now here you are in a better place in your life. You're no longer a child. You're a functioning female, and but your body's still reacting as if it's under attack, and that's where the triggers are. But on the other side of the triggers, when you start clearing it out, you have an emptiness. You have a, what's next? What do I do now? It's almost as if you're bored. It's almost as if we start looking for things that will make us feel excited again, that will make us feel passionate, engaged in the world. Now, this emptiness or this depression can come from a number of different sources. One of them can be because we seek out or we experience high levels of fight or flight, high levels of triggering. We can exhaust ourselves. And in the aftermath of that exhaustion is this numbness, is this emptiness, because we're just shorted out. It's like sticking our finger in an electrical socket. We eventually short out and then we got nothing. We're totally... oh, Nikki, you're not a total loser who's depressed, and that's probably how you feel, and I totally get it because I've been in that place before. But success is a little bit of a reframe, so let's take a quick little side trip, about success. Many of us women don't fit in the normal box of success. We don't look perfect. We don't act perfect. We trigger too quickly. We have bouts of depression. We have oversensitivity to our environment. We have toxicity. Maybe we have pain issues. But the thing that we've gotten from our life is wisdom that nobody else can have unless they've been through it. One of the reasons that I'm good at what I do is not because, hi Marinelle, is not because I'm this fabulous over the top, and I am, but not because not because I'm Lady Gaga, but because I have a knowledge that came from walking through all of these emotions and walking through these painful, difficult issues. And it gives us this insight and this understanding that nobody else can have unless they've walked in our shoes. And unless we've hit those places, just like, and I've been exactly where you're at, Nikki, these places where we're so empty and we feel like there's nothing there, that brings a wisdom with it and an understanding and a grace that we might not be able to see right now because that's not our focus. But on the other side, I wouldn't want to have experienced my life any differently than the way that I did, because it shaped me. It physically, mentally, and emotionally shaped me into someone who has insights and understandings about what it's like to be a human being, what it's like to go through those depressions, to feel like a loser, to feel like your life is falling apart. Only when you've walked through that and sat in it for a while and been there do you really understand when someone else is there, and then you can help them through it. People who've had great lives and great childhoods and nothing has happened to them and they've been able to take enough drugs to numb everything out and keep moving forward. Hi, Shelley. Good to see you. The people who took that path in life and everything turned out great, they have a lack of understanding. And as they get older and things start happening to them, life starts really happening. People die. They end up grieving. They end up injured in some way. They end up alone and isolated. What happens is they don't know how to get through it because they've never been at that bottom where they've hated themselves, where they've hated their lives. They've never been in that space. And because they don't understand it, it devastates them because they don't have any skills or coping tools. They don't know how to get through. One of the things that you learn when you're in that depressive state is by continuing to take those steps forward, that's how you learn how to deal with it. So many of my favorite Buddhist, as I said, mentors have dealt with high levels of depression. Because once, either as a side effect because you keep triggering all the time and your body's exhausted, and so now you're in an emptiness depression, or because you've cleaned up a lot of your triggers and your life isn't as exciting and amazing and out of control and things to handle and places to go and people to see. Because you don't have that high level of adrenaline anymore, life still seems empty because your body's used to that. It's become comfortable and it's become familiar, and it's also when we're bombarded by a chemical, we have less receptors for it. So we have fewer receptors for adrenaline because our body's so used to being bombarded by it, and so because we have these fewer receptors, we end up feeling like there's a hole, like there's a numbness and a quietness. So the way these Buddhist mentors and the way that I've dealt with it is, as I usually say, first of all, you take away the judgmentalism. You're having a human experience. You're a human being who's living and going through all the things that a human being goes through. And everybody gets their turn in the barrel. Everybody at some point in time, whether it's when they're dying, whether it's when someone they love is struggling, when they're sick. We all have, hi Katie, good to see you. We all have our times of being a human being. And even if you didn't have that stuff when you were young, you're going to have it when you're older. Nobody gets out of this without these experiences. And the faster you learn how to navigate this emptiness and this feeling of disconnect, then the easier life gets, because you're not going to avoid it. It's going to happen. And when you know how to step through it, you're going to be okay. So step one, as I said, is taking away the judgmentalism. When we hit those bottoms, when we hit that emptiness and nothingness, and it can come from disassociation because stuff was just too overstimulating, and we just, our normal is to check out. Mine was to do that great. I could handle high, intense, crazy situations because I would just disassociate. I would just disconnect from what was going on around me, okay? So depression comes from a lot of different places, including the food that we eat, and including a big one they've done a lot of research on lately, inflammation. Because when we have those low levels of inflammation, our body feels heavy. And that heaviness and that discomfort we associate with depression. So depression can be physical, because your body's inflamed and it's uncomfortable and it's tired. It can be mental, in that you believe what you're feeling or sensing is depression and it's bad or it's wrong. It can be emotional, as in you associate what you're feeling. This is what I'm feeling and it must be depression. It must be something bad, and I need to be concerned about it. Depression and those empty feelings are normal. Taking away the judgmentalism means that now you've got one less coin on that side of the scale that's making you stressed out and feel worse. Okay? The second thing that I do is, like with when I trigger to anger or anxiety, I go back to that felt sense. Hi, Diane. Nice to see you. It's been a while. I go back to where I feel it in my body, that felt sense, and I sit with it. Because whenever you're present to a part of your body, and I say this every day, so I know people are probably sick of it, but whenever you're present to a part of your body sends more blood there. It sends more chemicals there, and it tells that part of your body to flush out whatever's in there, to flush out all the, hi Donna, wow, a lot of old friends today. This is wonderful. I'm so excited. It tells it to flush out any stress chemicals that are there, and it tells it to relax that area. What it also does is think of the flip side. It's not just flushing out. It's also sending new life to that area, new vibrancy and awareness and awakeness. So if something feels numb or dead, it's the key isn't to distract yourself and ignore it. The key is to be present to that part of your body, because when you're present, it will send life there. It will send chi. It will send sensations, and it will help that disconnected part of you feel connected and alive and welcome. And you'll start to notice little things when you send your awareness there. After about 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, sometimes it takes longer. But when you sit with it, and sit with it as long as you need to, with that felt sense, you start to notice things like the coolness of the air on your face, because you're sending more blood there, remember? Which means that the nerves are going to be a little bit more sensitive to their environment, which means that also the blood vessels are opening up. You're going to notice different sensations and stuff going around you. So you notice the coolness of the air on your face, or the warmness of the air. You start to notice the air coming into your lungs as you're breathing. You start to notice when you blink. You notice when different parts of your body may hurt or not hurt. You become aware of more about life than you were aware of before. If you're feeling depressed, a big piece of it is because you are disconnected from your felt sense. And you probably have a really good reason, a very good reason for being disconnected, either because it's too painful or because we believe there's something wrong and we need to avoid it, whatever it may be. But being present with it brings life back to that part of us that feels depressed and feels disconnected and feels disassociated and alone. So let's say you don't have time to spend days to be depressed. I totally get it. Because some Buddhist, gurus, they've got years to go on retreat and silent retreats and really get to know themselves. You know what? We don't. We have family we have to take care of. We have jobs and bills to pay and stuff going on. So you don't necessarily have to deal with it all at once. But when you take that time, when you get that practice in every day of being present and being present to whatever you're feeling in your body, good, bad, or indifferent, and sending the blood there, sending the life force and chi there, then you start to reconnect. You start to plug yourself back into life. And when you do that, when you, to the pleasures of life, when you do that, life becomes worth living. It's now not a numbness. It's now not a disconnect or disassociation or protection. Now it's an engagement with what's going on. And the more we work on our thoughts that keep us, our beliefs and values that keep us from enjoying life, that keep us from connecting with life, the more we rewire those to give ourselves permission to be present and whole and loving and to have fun. Thank you, Diane. I really appreciate that compliment. The more we work on those thoughts that give us permission to love our lives, the more we love our lives, because the more present we are. Now, here's the neat thing. If you spend time every day or regularly reconnecting your body and mind, your body gets used to it. It gets familiar to it, and you shape it and train it to do that more easily and more frequently. It's the same thing with your thoughts. When you have that bigger thought that allows you to be both screwed up and perfect at the same time, your mind will more easily go to that thought when you need it, because it strengthens that neural connection. And the more often you spend with your body in those felt senses and being present and non-judgmental, the easier it gets for your body to do it. You are training your body to feel good, and you are training your mind to give yourself permission to feel good. And when you feel good, you become superhuman, because you're able to stay in your mind and stay rational no matter what the situation. You're able to feel what's going on around you and enjoy tastes and smells and sounds and relationships and people, because your body mind, you've now told it and shaped it and said, you know what? We're going to love our life no matter what. We're going to enjoy it. We're going to make the most of it. We're going to be happy, and we're going to be healthy, and we're going to do a great job. It takes time. I mean, because 7 years, over the course of 7 years, everything in your body is replaced. So you're actually a new person every 7 years. But, you know, thinking, oh my gosh, it's going to take me 7 years to replace all this stuff. Yeah, it might, because it takes time to replace it. It takes time to disconnect from the shame and the blame and reconnect to the stuff that says it's okay to be alive, and that you're doing great being alive. It takes time to unplug and plug into something new. And just like it takes time to bring your body and your body-mind back online. You know, if you've disconnected from it for a long time because you had no choice, because you were overwhelmed and exhausted, and because you didn't know any better. You know, if you've been offline for a while, it's going to take a while to plug all the circuits back in. It's going to take a while to tell your body, this is how I want you to live now. I've changed the rules. This is our new way of engaging with life. We're going to enjoy it, and we're going to have pleasure, and we're going to love it. And when you love your life, that's when all those law of attraction things and magical things happen, because you're sending out this enjoyment, and people want to be around you. You're sending out and sharing the wisdom, the hard-won wisdom that you've gotten, and people want to learn from that because they're struggling. You know, you enjoy life, and people want to enjoy life with you. And wherever you go, you make people feel good. And who are the most successful people in the world? The ones who have the ability to make the people around them feel good and to achieve and succeed at their goals. You know, those are the people who get the jobs, the people who find the life success. It's when you retrain your body to get to a place of enjoying living. That's when all those other side benefits come. You really can't bypass them. You know, you have to be with them. You can't hope that you can jump over all of this stuff. It's a retraining. It's a shaping, as if you're a work of art, because you are. And you get to decide who you want to be and how you want to shape your life. Absolutely, Ro. And together, Ro's going to be part of my Ro's great. That's all I'm going to say. So I'm so glad you're on today, Ro. Yes, that's what I want too. And that's what I've been doing over the last 7 or 8 years, actually 15 years, is shaping my life and my psyche into the person that I want to be, and shaping my life to look like how I want it to look. And you can do the exact same thing. And it's not based on tons of counseling, and it's not based on, you know, being the perfect person or having the perfect relationship. It's based on step-by-step reshaping your body, actually reshaping your nervous system and reshaping your brain so that you become the person that you most admire. And it's a lot of fun. So if you're going through a level of depression right now, if you have a little bit of emptiness, be okay with it, okay? Be okay. Realize that everybody has these experiences, and there's a lot of different reasons you might feel that way. And if you want to start feeling better, take that time and be present with it and thank it and enjoy that it's there and be grateful that you have the ability to feel nothing in the first place. It's a great tool when things are stressful. So bring that love and that gratitude to that space too. And when you do, it tells it that it's safe, that you're not going to betray it, that you're not going to punch it in the face. It's telling you that it's safe to reconnect with you. Hi, Carol. Good to see you. That it's safe to come back online, that you're going to protect it and you're going to love it and you're going to make sure that it's going to be okay and it doesn't have to run away from you ever again. All right? So here's your homework for the day. Homework for the day is do a body scan. Figure out in your body scan which parts of you feel a little disconnected, okay? And take away your judgmentalism. Maybe it's your knee. Maybe it's your hip. Maybe it's your left eye. We disconnect from parts of our body all the time. So do a body scan and poke and prod kind of in your mind and see, oh, this part of my body I'm not so connected with. And then spend 5 or 10 minutes and just put your presence there. Put your consciousness there and see if it becomes more sensitive to its environment around it. See if it starts to wake up and become more alive again. All right? So that's your homework. Now, if you haven't scheduled your Intuitive Healer Breakthrough Call, I'm going to be doing them this week. And then next week's the very last, because after that, I'm starting a 10-week coaching program, which I'd love people to be a part of. And it's a beta thing, so which means we're going to be creating it as we go. We're going to be working out the bugs, we're going to be polishing it, and it's going to be so super customized for everybody who's a part of it. I'm really excited about it. So make your Intuitive Healer Breakthrough Call. We'll chat because it'll give me tons of information, and I'm going to also help you figure out, the 2 or 3 things that are really getting in the way of your inner GPS, of your intuition. And then if it seems like a good fit, we'll talk about the program. Oh, thank you, Ro. It is. It's already an amazing group. I'm only going to work with no more than 10 people. So it's going to be small, and I've got 3 already. And 6 probably would be ideal. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. And I hope you can join us. And if you want to find out more about the program and you want to get a little more clarity, up above is the link. Thank you, Ro. Join now. She's my marketing guru. Go to the link up above and click on it and set up a time to chat with me because I love, hi, Katie, because I love getting to know cool, amazing women and us coming together as a tribe and a group and really moving forward together because I'm sick and tired of all of us being isolated and of all of us feeling alone because we don't have to. And when we come together like this is how we change the world. This is how we shape the world into the direction we want it to go. This is how we shape things, by coming together and doing this stuff. So, thank you, my friends. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow. And don't forget to do your homework and sign up for your call. Okay, bye.